Hey, friends. We're just waiting for Nikki and our guest to be ready. So I'm going to pause for a moment and we'll be back. Igmar.
Am I late?
No, you're good. We're actually waiting for Nikki to get here and for Raydar to finish setting up.
Okay.
In the meantime, since now I have someone to talk to, shall I introduce you or would you like to introduce yourself?
Um, Hello. My name is the notorious IGG. I reside in your mind.
Yes, I think that's all the introduction you need.
How are you, Tizzle?
I'm good. Just been running around with these rambunctious kids.
The babies are good.
Yeah, it'll probably be a little bit chaotic tonight since they're on the loose.
Where's the trampoline at? Is Patrick Ewing in there?
Oh my gosh, his hoop is in his room.
Young Patrick. That'd
So
be
for those
hilarious.
who, huh?
I was gonna say that'd be hilarious if young Garvey grows up to be like 6'10".
I
I don't
wouldn't even be surprised, honestly, just to spite me.
know. Just
For
growing all the time. You gotta
maybe
buy
he'll finally
shoes
grow into his feet.
and pants. You
For
gotta
for those who don't know, 32sdays is when we drink a 32 ounce on a Tuesday and talk about stuff. It could be a movie, a show, a book. Um, Tonight, the beverage I am enjoying is a 32 ounce of Guinness. So we'll see how that goes. This is our first one. So Igmar and Radar are inaugural guests. And I'm excited to have you guys and find out what you thought about House of the Dragon. I was enjoying your text throughout the series. I was having a good time with that.
Yeah, I was trying not to text you after the I don't know, the fourth episode or so.
No, don't hold back. I'm open to it. I looked forward to it. You and my friend Kojo both would text me, and I looked forward to it because I love the like you guys' takes.
Man, I'm sure it was hard for many, but the thought of the incest going down, I mean, we all knew about it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things I feel like you accept that it's in that world, and then you're just like, all right, it's a thing here. There's no need to press on about it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because it's not even like an issue in the show. It's like, yes, aunts I mean uncles sometimes marry their nieces. What about it? And so it's like, all right, fine. And it's not like there's not real world examples of that.
No, I was gonna say we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for incest, because a very,
Yeah.
very long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And like royal families, that's what they did. They
Ancient medieval times.
yeah. So
Not
this is
even
kind
just
of
royal, it's just proximity.
yeah, that too. People married cousins all the time.
Yeah, a long, long time ago. Ancient.
Yeah. So it's a thing and we just kind of glide past it. And
To say I was comfortable during those scenes, uh,
Y-
that would be a lie.
yeah, especially when we had the younger Rhaenyra, because she looked
Yeah,
so young.
yeah, she was the younger Rhaenyra. That was it too. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
I forgot the actress's name, but she looked super young. And yeah, it was very groomy.
In a brothel, nonetheless.
Yeah, that whole episode, the brothel episode, had me cringing the whole time.
That was a rough one.
And I remember part of it was obviously what was happening on screen, but the other part of it was the music. The music I realized had me really on edge. And as I went back and like rewatched a few episodes, I realized that the music really controls how you feel. We're gonna invite Raydar to the stage.
Yo.
Hi there.
Hey, what's up?
This is Raydar the Ellis.
I can hear you. Anybody right now? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay.
You need a minute?
I think I should be all right. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm all good. Hello, everyone out there in listening land.
I hear Gary doing the 1-2 checker.
Yeah. It's time to get rid of him.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Let me send this text real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, he was like, why you gotta be all of that?
You good?
Hmm?
I was asking if you were good.
Trying to be.
Nikki should be here shortly. Are you good now? You can hear? Who's Thomas Didymus? Oh, the person behind Tanya moves like... Ooh, feedback. Hold on 1 second. Nikki can't seem to get in. Ooh. While he's getting himself together, I'll introduce him as well. Sorry, wrong name, not Igmar. Raydar the Ellis, the the producer of our theme music, our trivia DJ, the gentleman I went half on 2 babies with, the man behind me in the living room. He's here. Oh, there goes Nikki.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick.
There we go.
Hola.
Check.
The notorious IGG.
What's up, Miss Birch?
Nice to see you.
Yes, yes.
Let me mute that YouTube. All right.
All right, Igmar and I were just chatting a little bit about random things from the season.
Brothels and such.
Yes, of course we led with brothels.
The
Why
finer
wouldn't
things
we?
in life.
You know, you gotta engage the people.
Are you all set now, Raydar?
Yeah, can you hear me in the mic?
I don't hear you in my headphones.
I don't hear you in the mic.
Okay, hold on. Check.
Did you have a favorite episode, Igmar?
Check. Episode
Or a favorite moment, maybe?
I guess a lot happened in the finale, so that was a good one. You know, I like the action.
Yeah.
I liked when Auntie, what's the auntie's name?
Auntie Ray?
Rayniece.
Rayniece.
Auntie Ray.
When Auntie came through the wall with the dragon.
Oh, yeah.
It took the whole episode to get there, though. You know. But
There was a lot of scheming and conniving going on.
Yeah, there was. I told Tanya that week, I was like, they spent a little too much time on the high towers for me. I saw they wanted to focus that episode there. But
yeah.
You know, I wanted to see him shut it down like everybody else. They crowned that
Yeah,
kid.
we want to see
You
F
know,
things up.
yeah, they crowned that kid, and I was like, all right, enough is enough. Show your muscle.
Time to murder some civilians.
Yeah, it was like enough
Like,
of the games.
she really said that she didn't want to start a war by killing them. Meanwhile, she murdered like hella civilians.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was right there. She had all the opportunity to
Just
light them up.
shut shit down.
Yeah, it could have lit everybody up, and then she just stared at him and bounced. Like, I don't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, she killed like all the all the collateral damage, busted the
She was
wall.
She really did spray the whole city.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
The dragon drive by talking
Yeah,
about I wanted to spare their life. What?
It's like you literally murdered hundreds. Like the whole city was there. They had the whole city there, and she just came through. Don't touch my mic. She just came through and murdered them.
Yeah, then they left like the pervert to be king alive. I was like, yeah, this guy's not trying to live a fruitful life. Like
He doesn't even
No,
want to do it.
he doesn't even want to be it. Yeah.
he just wants to jerk off out the window and rape like the serving girls.
Yeah. All kind of domestic problems. I was like, this is who you want to see?
Like this is who you want to be.
Right.
Is this your king?
Exactly.
But was Renee's playing was she playing chess though? Did she like break in there just pissed because she was a prisoner and then had a second thought? I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll let these dudes battle it out and my family
See what happens. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Because
I feel like she knew like ultimately it wasn't going to be her call because whatever happens, she still have to answer to everyone else.
Right. And we learn later she wasn't even fully convinced she wanted to be involved. Because, thinking Rhaenyra killed her kid, she really didn't fuck with either of them.
Yeah, I do feel like that last episode, her allegiance is strengthened.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think she was waiting for her husband to decide too, because he's the head of that house, not her.
Or waiting for her to see if he was alive.
Well, yeah, that too.
Because at this point, she didn't even know if he'd survived yet.
That's right.
Yeah, can we talk about the sea snake's brother? Lord have mercy.
Vaymond.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Vaymond? I'm curious. Let's talk about Vaymond. I feel like we didn't give him enough love except for the one episode where he.
Yeah.
Is that the brothers? That's his
Yeah,
name?
Vaymond.
I just wish he would have shut up.
Read the room, bro.
Yo, like I don't know. Truth always got to be yelled out.
Like he was the absolute worst at reading the room. And at that point, I'm like, he must have accepted he was gonna die, right?
I think he knew.
Because he's just like, you know what, F it, I'm just gonna have to die here. Because he was wilding. I mean, he wasn't wrong. He was right.
I felt like when he started saying all that loudly, and then he traveled to the kingdom or King's Landing. I think it was like an all or nothing at all play, and I think he knew that.
Yeah. Well, he also wasn't expecting Rhaenys to show up and be. Well, he wasn't expecting her to be the one to make the decision.
And he wasn't expecting Viserys to show up either.
Right. Because he was working with the High Tower, so I guess at that point he must have known like this isn't working. So
can you spotlight Vixen 5's comment, please?
Yes. Mans was talking that cash shit.
I didn't even know there were comments.
Oh yes. Yes, there are comments. I'll highlight AK's comment as well. Sarah should have shut up.
It's true.
Can I highlight this real quick too?
Oh.
And shout out to the other person moving behind and between the both of you, because that threw me for a second.
Oh yeah, that's Aaliyah.
Hey.
That's my cousin.
Hi, cuz.
So y'all got a babysitter for the podcast?
No. She and I had tea this afternoon, and she didn't have anything to do, and I was like, "You want to come over and drink wine?" So here we are, one prosecco, one wine, and a Guinness later.
Good times.
Yeah. Did we already introduce what we're doing?
Oh, hey, Max.
I did.
Okay.
Hey, Max.
Oh, I knew it was you. I was trying to let you keep your identity secret.
Same.
But
If
shout out
you're
to Max.
unfamiliar with Max, is the host of the podcast, Mostly Max and Other Things.
Nice.
I will find Max. If you go ahead and drop a link to your podcast, and I will share it. One of my favorite moments was Rhaenyra's wedding when the Valarians showed up. When they made that huge entrance, and it's just like all these black people with white hair and all their finery just rolling in together. I was like, okay, I need to enter a place like that at some point. And I like that her wedding ended in a brawl too. My wedding didn't end in a brawl. That would have been exciting.
And a murder. It was very Dothraki in that sense.
Yeah, ended in a brawl and a murder.
Well, the Valerian Wakanda.
Yeah, it was.
You know, our 10-year wedding anniversary is coming up next year, so you might have a shot.
Hey.
Yes,
So
bring your sword.
Sharpening my daggers.
Yes. I can't wait to hear the doors lock.
Wow. Oh my God.
Reigns of Castamere start playing. Just see who throws the first knife.
It'll be me. Spoiler. Just to get things going, because if no one else is going to do it.
Nice.
That was a good, like, low-key introduction to the man who would go on to father Rhaenyra's real children, though. The guy who goes punching through the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Rescuing the damsel.
Yes. He went punching through the crowd and threw her over his shoulder. And I feel like, hey, you know, if I was in trouble and the guy came punching through the crowd to save me, I'd let him shoot his shot, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know? Might as well have 3 babies.
Yo, so what's up with the whatever you call it, the in the closet escapee husband? You think he's definitely making a
he's not really in the closet, but he's definitely has escaped.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like
It's
everyone knows.
Yeah.
He's just not allowed to like walk around and marry his boyfriend, but like he goes out with them, everybody sees them.
Everyone knows, man, none of the kids look like him.
Yeah, like these little white children. In response to what's his name?
Who?
That's the strong
Harwin?
Mm-hmm. About him punching through the crowd. Yes. Cheeks indeed would get clapped. Anyway.
I just censored myself.
Anyway.
Tanya sees what I've been sending to the other group chat that we have, so I'll just slow my roll for the moment.
Be low key today. I feel like tonight's not the night to be low key though.
Yeah, I had to lock the door so nobody comes downstairs.
What was I in the middle of saying?
We were talking about my boy.
Harwin.
I'm sorry, I'm not good with any of the character names.
Harwin's
right. No. The Laenor.
Oh, right.
About Laenor being openly gay in the sense that everyone knows, and he doesn't really take pains to hide it, but he obviously can't marry a man in Westeros.
So what's
like a little Richard? Everyone knew.
What did you say, Igmar?
I guess I'm speculating now. What episode does he come back, and like what is the what's the cover?
There are theories.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories because in the books it's reported that he died. but it's reported that he died. Obviously, the person saying it has no idea. So now in the show, it's like we hear that he died, but we know he actually escaped. So I have no idea if he'll return. If he'll return in some way as a new character, or if
I
we'll
feel
get
like
glimpses of him.
this isn't like Days of Our Lives, so he's not coming back. It's not that type of thing. But
Days of Our Lives with dragons.
right, the fact they showed that he's alive and he's escaping instead of not showing anything at all, to me means something in terms of storytelling. So I'm like, all right, this motherfucker's gonna be back.
I'm glad that they showed him escaping because in the book he gets murdered, and that's the story in the show, is that he gets murdered by his lover.
But you had a good theory, like the spoiler, with having to do with his dragon making an appearance later
Oh,
in the
yeah.
dance.
The ages don't match up though.
Yeah. But maybe for the show they'll make it so.
That's true.
Maybe they take liberties.
What did happen to his dragon? It just stayed there?
It's just there. Nobody's riding it.
Yeah, nobody can touch it, right?
Yeah, somebody else has to bond with it first.
Right.
And they'll eat you.
Basically.
It's like a shard blade.
They don't fuck with you. Yeah. And there's the Stormlight Archive reference. We're gonna
everybody drink.
Oh. Wait, okay. Hold on.
All right, go get you a drink.
Yeah.
This is a new addition to the game.
Yes.
Yay, I'm happy. I'm done. Bye, guys. I've done what I came to do.
I did not take a single note for this. I meant to have questions to ask. Well, I guess I could ask Raydar. You're here and you're the DJ and you played some of the soundtrack music. What do you think of the music?
Better than what my dude Sarah Marshall had to compose. I was told all that. No, I mean Ramin Djawadi, he's incredible. I mean, really knows how to build tense moments.
Shout out to Jamaica.
Hey,
yes.
I don't know if you can see it.
Very, very.
So I'm waiting for that. That Jamaican Targaryen to pop up out the woodworks. When's that gonna happen? Talking about Bumbleclot, that's my dragon. Get your Ross. Put your box side down. You start with my horrible accent.
Wow, you're giving what you call it, Luke Cage season 2.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That season was like, if they were like, okay, we don't know any Jamaicans, but here are these Nigerians. We can try to get them to do Jamaican accents. And they're like, no, I'm not doing that. And then they're like, you know what? You Nigerians teach them the Jamaican accent. And then that's what we ended up with.
New York.
Yeah.
My wife
in New York.
That's so funny.
She just gone to Brooklyn.
Yeah, those are not Jamaican.
They could have done a lot of things.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to go to Brooklyn. They could have went by the juice bar on 125th.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's still open, huh? Yeah. Would have been fine. Oh well.
Yo, Raydar, you remember the dude I used to buy weed from right downstairs?
Yeah.
37th and 5th? Motherfucker was roasted out. There was mad Jamaicans right there.
You could have just picked a bunch, because like it's not like they had like a whole bunch of lines.
They could have threw a rock.
No.
Hit like 13,000.
It would have bounced off one and hit another. Right in front of the goal.
Harlem. They could have hit Jamaican, or they could have hit Dapper Dan.
Well, there goes those casualties again.
Yeah. How come all these conversations turn back into assault and murder? I guess
well, this is what happens in the show.
Oh, okay,
true.
This is what happens in the show. I forgot what were we talking about earlier today, Tanya? That we said, we were talking about Interview with the Vampire, and we won't spoil it because we are going to do a 32sdays about that. But we're saying that something would have happened very differently had George R.R. Martin written that story.
When we do that and we have Kojo on, he will talk to us about all of it. And that's probably going to be the first thing I talk about.
Yeah, so good.
Igmar is asking Raydar what he thinks about the music. So, what did you think about the music?
I actually didn't put a lot of like supreme focus on the music. What I did notice though is their silence. So they had a lot of
Yeah.
subconscious music, and like you were saying, it was leading you. Sometimes it was projecting. You know what I mean? Before it actually happened, you're like already tense.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
what was even more noticeable, because I was following the story, I love their storytelling. What was more noticeable was the silence. And I think I may be wrong. I think that last episode, not the last one, but the last one that the king was alive, there was a lot of silence in that one, especially at the table and stuff. You know what I mean? I might be wrong, but I noticed there was silence in the music.
No, like silences are important.
Yeah.
You know, well placed rests. They make an impact.
Absolutely.
One of the in Game of Thrones, one of the times where things were silent that really stood out was after the Red Wedding, and their credits had no music. It was just dead silent while the credits rolled, and that silence, like you said, it's really impactful.
It happened at the end of Viserys's episode too.
Oh yeah, when he just says "my love" and
He
then it
says
just
my
goes
love and it's
quiet.
just credits.
I'm gonna highlight. You can see a Jamaican Targaryen swooping in on a dragon and saying, "Bun up your nastiness" instead of Dracarys.
I love it. I love it.
That's funny. When a dragon is born, he says, "You want to see me turn bad man? Bad man, me turn."
Why do I feel like we're on to like
Onto what?
I feel like we're on to like the second episode of the Chappelle Game of Thrones skit. You know,
I haven't
right? House of Dragon goes to Kingston.
Yo, if that was where the Valarians were from, dude would have held his tongue better, or showed up just swinging his machete. You know, you get your head cut off from behind. You weren't watching. You gotta keep your head on a swivel around certain people. That's why you can't go to everybody's house. That's why you can't go to everybody's house. You know, somebody might come up behind you and slice your head off. That was nasty.
Like, he knew he was gonna die, but like, was it worth it? Like, I'm a Sag. I like telling the truth. Sometimes, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. Like, I think a lot of people would have thought otherwise. They would have done otherwise.
I mean, there's, you know, the concept of self-preservation. You know what I mean?
Especially considering that you're the only one left with your last name, technically, right? Like if your brother's on his deathbed, then you're the only one left with your last name, and you're coming here to argue for the preservation of your house.
And
maybe
on that,
seek a private audience,
or maybe get a wife and have some kids, so you have a stronger argument.
Yeah,
you
and
didn't
that's
have them tucked away.
As far as we know, no. And this is something that we talked about. It's like they haven't. They would. You know, I was like, and I thought it was like maybe he's got secret kids, or they're just not didn't write it into, or didn't write his family into the story. But
he got a bastard.
It seems like no children.
Yeah, I didn't understand that why he wouldn't have kids by then.
He says the girls were Targaryens.
Yes, the girls are Targaryens.
So outside of Westeros, I was just like, yo, they're killing us off every single week.
I know.
That's why I didn't even like his character like that. I was just like, why can't you shut up? Like
so you could have lived. I had some more black people on the show.
With like 4 or 5, and now they just off us every week. Like nobody else dying. Damn. That's how it's
true though. I was telling Nikki that I thought it would have been funny if the Valarians were white and the Strongs were black, so that Rhaenyra just had 3 black children and like a white husband and would have to just sit there lying in everybody's face.
Even though she was, but yeah,
Yeah, but
I
like,
would have enjoyed that.
but it's a little too on the nose, right?
Yo, Black Twitter would have had a field day. That would have been entertainment tonight.
Yes, that would have been. I think that would have been pretty fun, but I can see why they didn't do all that.
I'm curious to know who you guys' favorite characters are from the show. Who did you like the most, or who did you like the least, and why?
I mean, the king, I trolled Tanya because he looks like Tony Touch. So every time he was like coming up on screen with like a body part missing, I'm like, there goes Tony. He's never going to get back on the circuit. He's missing fingers. He can't scratch. He's missing an arm now. He can't juggle. My guy was missing an eye. He can't look at his Serato screen. And he just died. Like, he went out bad, man. How's he going to DJ it anymore? How's he going to put out his mixtapes? I mean, I know he's the king, but like, you know, he's Tony Touch to me. Now, he was one of my favorites because of, you know, the show jumped time periods so much. And initially that was jarring for me, but it was important because you can kind of see how things get set up for the next generation to take, you know, leadership, and having him in these different time periods with his, you know, deteriorating health. You know, he was making different decisions based on either his medical condition or just what he was able to comprehend and be there for, present for in the moment. You know, and just like the pride that he took in it as well, like trying to hide certain things, like wearing the glove when he started losing fingers. And it made me think about like, it put in perspective, like the importance of everyone's role and position and the weight of carrying the royalty and in dealing with other places. Cause you know, he wanted to be seen as strong. So when he was on that throne for the last time, even though he was weak as hell, like it was important for him to display the power of the house. And I just really felt like, you know, his presence really kind of underlined the significance of why everyone is vying for this in the first place. So he was one of my favorite characters because of his position, maintaining a consistency through the time jumps.
I like that. And that's something that I didn't even like. I like that you're pointing out the fact that his character kind of never changed, right? His actor was never switched out. He remained Viserys from start to end, and his transition was very much, you know, physical makeup and special effects makeup, as he's literally falling to pieces. But I think you're right. He does provide consistency, and I hadn't thought about that. Oh, Jackie, I cried too. I cried through it like 3 times that episode.
Igmar, do you have a favorite character?
I was trying to think about it. It might have been a little easier in the previous series, but this series, maybe more so moments. I like the daughter. But nobody really through and through was like the one. You know what I mean? I like the auntie. She shows like a lot of maturity and valor in different ways, or just she's distinguished and handled, you know, all of her challenges the best anyone probably could, you know. So she was cool to me. Whatever the daughter's name is, the main character.
Rhaenyra.
Yeah. I kind of like the villain. I want to see more of his story, actually. I like the villain. You know, later he becomes on the wall, One Eye.
Yes.
I don't know nobody's name.
Oh. Aemond.
Aemond One Eye.
Aemond.
He's one of my favorites.
That's him on the wall later.
Wait, his name is Aemond One Eye.
We already told you these are Jamaicans, okay?
Aemon
So-
One-Eye Targaryen
Was it your uncle or your cousin named Wrong Body?
from Portsmouth.
Neither. He's a friend of the family.
He's a friend of the family. His name is Wrong Body. Why is his name Wrong Body, Tanya?
Is he cousin to Ox?
Wrong Body.
He's big with a little voice. So people start calling him Wrong Body. And now he sometimes goes by Body. But that is beside the point.
I think I heard this.
The other nickname you would enjoy, Raydar, is Laris, who has the foot fetish. That guy, the other bad guy. They call him Laris Clubfoot. Laris Clubfoot.
Raydar's like, wait, what? Come again? He said, what? Y'all not in the same room? No?
Get your damn hands off of me.
Littlefoot. Longfoot. Yeah, so Targaryen, the Westerosi and Jamaicans also nickname people the same way. So
Aemon One-Eye Targaryen.
Morgan.
A real Jamaican last name.
Morgan, I love it.
No,
Crooked
Aemon
finger.
is cool. I like his story arc because we know where it's going to end. So obviously he's the wise old man that was guiding, and the word of, he was the voice of wisdom, you know. So he was a whole asshole in his youth. So it'll be cool to see that, you know.
I think I like him because, okay, first of all, I like villains. I find them very interesting. So I'm not saying that I think, you cut it out. I'm not saying that I think Aemond is like a good person or anything. Oh my goodness. But I like villains.
Yeah,
just for
Jack,
just for clarification.
But I like that what I find interesting about him is he seems to be so cold-blooded, but at the same time, it seems like he takes his position really seriously and wants to like have honor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think out of the kids, he's noble.
Yeah,
He's ruthless, but he's noble.
right.
Know?
Like he takes being a prince seriously, and he says, you know, he would have done his duty and married his sister, and you know, he doesn't go to brothels or have little babies running around the city. He's very like, okay, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna do my job, and I'm gonna do it well. Meanwhile, his brother is pulling his pee-pee out the window and
right,
you know, carrying on terribly.
Yo, I feel like the brother is like one step away from being a whole pedo. Like
Right.
he just feels so creepy to me.
He's super creepy. He's super creepy. And but Aemond is like the complete opposite. He's so serious.
Yeah.
And like so noble, but at the same time he's such a dick. And I feel like he looks up to Daemon too.
So I didn't read the books like you guys, but something that stuck with me from the previous series is Aemon said that basically I could have been king. So I'm kind of waiting to see if they're going to show that or if they connect the dots or anything, because obviously he's not the firstborn.
Right.
You know what I mean? But there was no clear, like, you know, they haven't shown it to me so far, like a clear path for him to be king. So
I wonder if he'd have it in him to kill his brother. I'm not gonna say anything spoiler, obviously, but
there's room for it in the way they paint it.
Yeah.
The storyline.
And to see it as his duty, you know, to keep, because his brother's such
to save the realm.
Right, to save the realm. Like, you know what? I needed to murder him so that I could become king and run things properly. Like,
and I feel like politically, like Otto and Allison, even though they'd maybe frown upon it, they'd probably know that they were in better shape were he to do something crazy.
Yeah, the mother was like, yo, I hate you to the first one. I'm like, yo, didn't they start the episode that way? I'm like, God damn. Like, he's gonna have a whole adult traumatized like mommy.
I mean, even when she caught him jerking off out the window, She pulls him out the window, slaps him in the face, and then also tells him that he should be king.
It's a wild series of
It's like,
sentences to follow one after
right.
the other.
Like, what? Like, you saw him pulling his meat onto the civilians.
So
And
I
then
have
you
a question.
uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't interrupt. I want you to finish.
No, I was gonna say you saw him pulling his meat, and then you slapped him up, and then said he should be the king. Like, none of that. That whole train makes no sense.
Maybe what she really meant was like, is this how kings behave? What are you doing?
And we know Viserys wasn't like that.
No, he was Mr. Missionary.
Did his thing-a-ling break off inside off the grip? Like
You saying Allison had that gorilla grip?
No, my question actually was what was your honest reaction when Allison was just drinking the Kool-Aid, thinking it was all about her and her children on dude's deathbed? The prophecy and shit like that. I'm like, damn it.
I thought she was being willfully ignorant.
Yeah.
Because she knew damn well that, first of all, she never heard of a prophecy. She knew that he's confused all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he thinks she's Rhaenyra. She knows that. I think she just took that as her opportunity to do what she did. Because there's just no way.
But what was your emotion, though?
My emotion? Oh, I was angry. I wanted to jump through the screen and just...
Yeah. I think that it was, I hadn't thought about it before, but I think that in that moment, she was the most Otto Hightower's daughter that we'd ever seen her be. Mm-hmm. Just like incredibly opportunistic and just turning the tables in her favor when there was no one else to vouch for her. Yeah. Because she had no idea what they were talking about.
Reaching.
And the council made good points. They're like, so you're telling me the king who has been saying for the last 20 years that his daughter is his heir.
Who said it last night and yesterday.
And who said it who confirmed it in court in front of everyone yesterday and said it again last night. Somehow at the end of the night, changed his mind, told only you that he changed his mind and then died.
No witness.
With no witness. He didn't write on no paper. He didn't call in his maester and be like, hey, put this down. I've changed my mind. Like,
I mean, Tanya, you're a lawyer. So like, how well would that hold up? Because the king was dying. Like, he probably not in his right frame of mind. Like, there's disease eating through his brain. They could see through his eye to his brain. Like, how would that hold up in the court of law?
I mean, a person in that condition wouldn't be considered of sound mind to sign a will.
Yeah.
So, that's really it. He's senile at this point. He's on heavily medicated. They would never, and especially they would never accept a changed will. Well, they wouldn't accept a will with no witnesses, but they definitely accept, on that horse. And they definitely wouldn't accept a will, a change in a will on somebody's deathbed with no witnesses except the person who can gain the most from it. Like they would never be accepted in a real court. But actually, there's a podcast called Learned Hands, and it's run by a couple of lawyers, and they go through legal scenarios in Westeros. So that's another one to check out. I'm in their Slack.
No, I definitely didn't want to use violence against a woman, but I was like, what the hell? Like, this dumb ass. Yo, you cannot. She was doing mental gymnastics. She was reaching, connecting dots that wasn't connecting. And that was just like the nerve.
The nerve. It's I mean, that's really what it is.
We all knew it was going.
Nerve. Like, you. Like, it makes a great story, so we knew it had to go that direction, right? But the nerve of you.
Yeah. Oh, and that just, they knew what they were doing. That makes us all want her to get what's coming.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like she did a lot of things before that made it. But that at that moment, we were just like, oh, but we just maybe were like, okay, you and Renee were gonna make up, and we like maybe had to like the font or bloom of forgiveness was starting to flower in our hearts. But no.
That's the Hollywood oak
right away.
Oak right there.
Mm-mm.
They did a lot of things, though. They did a lot of things to make us have sympathy for her, though. Like they really tried to pull at the heartstrings on, making us feel for her. And I was like, I see through the bullshit. Except one time I was like, okay, maybe I'm being too hard on her. And then by the next week, I was like, no, fuck her.
She forced Tanya to issue a retraction.
Yes, I had to retract
Rigged?
because I was just like, you know what? I said I would have sympathy for her, that I was too hard on her, but now I know absolutely not. She's exactly who I thought she was. And I take back my take back.
Nah, I was never feeling her.
No. I just started to be sympathetic for her.
I only felt bad when the pop sent her to the king.
That was gross. That was
disgusting.
very gross of him. Like, can you imagine? Like, hey, my daughter, why don't you go seduce an old man?
I think one of the words was comfort.
Yes.
I was like, what?
That's what they used to call the women who were taken as sex workers in, what was it, Japan?
In Japan, the comfort women, yeah.
The comfort women. So, yeah.
Yep. He held his daughter up. I don't care if it's a king.
I'm going to highlight Jackie's comment because it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. She's trapped in monogamy, but only wants a window and not to be freed. It reminded me of the quote from Rainey's, and she's like, "You just want a window in your prison."
Right.
I think she's also one of my favorite characters too, because she just tells the truth all the time, and not in a way to get herself killed. And I also liked how much she would communicate with a look.
Well, yeah. So with Rainey's, she's the one who pulled up with that dragon right at the end. Yeah. So like she was talking before about that, like, and what is it, Allison? She wants to reach this high ceiling in terms of structure of royalty, but Rainey was talking to her like, yo, don't you ever want your own thing? Like, what if you were on top of that throne? And when she pulls up with the dragon, it's like, see, this is what it looks like. And then dipped on her. Get your shit.
That just made me think of the Cersei and Littlefinger when he says knowledge is power. And she goes to the guards, sees him, and they seize him, and she's like, what does she say, like, bring me his head or some shit, and they pull their swords, and she's like, actually never mind, and then they put them away, and she's like, power is power.
Yeah. I love Cersei. I miss Cersei's shenanigans.
I love Cersei too. I have my little Cersei on my desk. Let me show you.
On a different lane, can we all boycott this director that keeps on turning the lights out?
Look at Cersei.
They brought him back, and I'm like, yo, how come I was waiting to see a dragon, and then they put the dragon in the dark.
Rebecca Bex had a lot of complaints about that. Bex she does film as well, film editing, and she had a lot of complaints because they filmed in the daytime and then tried to make it look like night.
So here's the thing. There's a filter for that called day for night, where you film in the daytime and then you put a filter on and it basically darkens everything, puts blue tones on it, and it makes it look as if you had shot it at night. However, if you're going to do that, there are ways to make it believable, and they did not pursue it all the way. Also, had they just done a couple torches up on the beach or whatever, and it's because it's a CGI dragon.
That's what I'm going to say.
A little bit of moonlight on there.
I didn't want to interrupt you. Like, we talking about a dragon,
And it's just like for all those scenes on that beach, or like even when he's like crawling through the grass, the moon, I'm like, I can see the constellations, but I cannot see like what's going on in his facial expressions. So yeah, that's basically what happened. Like, you know what? Maybe I'll take a picture and I'll put a day for night filter on it and put it on our Instagram so people can see the difference. Because
I don't know, they should have just green screened it. I don't know shit about it, but damn it, I want to.
You're muted, Tanya.
Apparently, he will not be directing season 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the T.
Yeah.
Right. I support it.
I think I remember seeing an article about that he's not coming back for the second season.
But how did he have a repeat though? Like, because he had an important episode at the end of the last series, and people lost their minds about it.
Oh yeah, the long night. And then they were like, but what was funny about that is they were like, get a better TV, ho.
Yeah.
They were snobby about it, and then they did the shit again. It was the
But,
same
but I
guy.
will say that the lighting in The Long Night was much better than the lighting in this episode with the dragon, because at first I forgot, I think I watched it on my computer the first time and I was like, what's going on? And then I projected it and I adjusted the settings and it was beautiful. So, but not everybody has it in them to go customize the settings on their TVs or their projectors or whatever to be able to see that. Like, no one's going to do that.
We actually saw it fine on our TV. I didn't have to
I
change
remember you
anything.
said that, yeah.
Yeah, we saw it. It was normal. I mean, it was dark, but like I could see everything going
Yeah.
on. I didn't have the same experience. But I just thought it was funny that their reaction was just like, well, then get a better TV.
Yeah.
Step up your game, broke bitch.
Don't you have HBO Max?
Nah, I watched that going on the projector. I was like, "Dude, am I taking a break?"
Yeah, no, that episode was dark, and I remember I paused it and I went and I pulled it up on my iPad and turned up the brightness, and I was like, oh no, this shit is still dark.
Cyanotron. It was a master plan to sell TV calibration gadgets.
That's right.
Television lobby.
Master plan.
What are you looking forward to for next season?
Murder, 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 kill, kill, kill.
Dragon drive-bys all day.
That's actually what I'm looking forward to too, is a lot of dragon fighting, because we're gonna get a lot more next season, because this whole season was like the background information to set us up.
Mhm.
And we get that one battle at the end, somebody's kid gets killed, and now we've turned things up. And I for one am ready.
He can't be unkilt either. It's on.
It's on.
This is not Days of Our Life.
The news made her have a miscarriage,
Mhm.
and then
Her
then
dad
her son
died.
gets-
Her news made her and then the news made her have a miscarriage. She got her throne usurped, and her son died,
and her husband choked her,
and her husband choked her.
She's pissed.
which I didn't like that they did that,
Yeah,
because I feel like their relationship wasn't like that. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a good person,
he's
but
not
I
a
feel
good
like
person.
But they showed him that. They showed that, but they also showed him to be insecure and like really desiring that throne.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
True.
There's plenty of evidence of that. So like, I could see him flipping like that.
Yeah.
Him being insecure is like, oh, now it actually happened. You have power over me officially.
Right.
Mm.
That's true. That's true. Abuse can come from that insecurity. But I'm the man. Go ahead.
Carry my purse, motherfucker.
Yeah, I had a question because it's set before the Game of Thrones that we saw for 8 seasons, right? So there's some other
7.5.
folklore, right? Huh?
7.5.
Oh, 7.5 seasons.
In 7 episodes.
Sorry, go ahead.
It happened. But like, there's other things that exist in this world, right? Like White Walkers and what were those giant folks and all that. So I'm looking forward to see how they're implemented, maybe some of their background origin story if they so choose. Like, I love the dragons and all, but I love that there's all these kind of fantasy beings that played roles in the series, and it would be nice to see if there's either an origin story or like some way that the people used to deal with them, that they evolved into dealing with them in the way that we saw in the earlier Game of Thrones series. I'd love to see, now that we're in this space where we're talking about that before time, I want to see other things in that before time and how they existed.
Yeah.
You think guys see that in the future? You think they're going to introduce those people?
Yeah, well, we know that they're going to go north and see the Starks, because we know that's where Jacaerys went. He was headed north.
I'm looking forward to seeing the other houses, because so far it's really just been King's Landing, the Hightowers and the Targaryens and the Valerians, and like that's it. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Starks and more of the Baratheons, and just like everyone who kind of gets involved in the war, and seeing like the rest of Westeros. Ooh, that was
we saw
twister.
The Snobby family, the Lions.
Oh, that's the Lannisters. Yeah.
Yep.
The Snobby family. I love it.
Can you highlight Jackie's comments, the Winterfell and then the prophecy stuff?
This one.
Yes, that one, and then also the would love it if
Ah,
yes.
yeah. So he's been talking a lot about the Long Night and the White Walkers and hinting at it. So maybe we will get to see it, or
That would be
hints of it
really
at
fun.
least. George Martin is gonna do. They're gonna. What is it? The Ice Dragon
The
is gonna
Ice
be an
Dragon.
animated movie, right?
Yep, they're gonna do feature length film on that one.
What were you gonna say, Mr. Ellis?
Nothing. I was taking it in. I'm excited.
I think you make a good point. I one about seeing like the prophecies and stuff and going and seeing just like other beings in this world, because I kind of hate that they made the prophecy of the Song of Ice and Fire and that they're bringing it up in there, because I thought it was a really flimsy way to connect the series. But when I was watching again, Tanya and I were doing rewatches for our trivia night that happened last week at the Stonebridge, and I was like, "Oh, but it works." And I hate them that it works, but it actually it works, and so I'm excited to see if they do introduce us to some of these characters. Like if we go north, do we get to see, do we hear, is there an old Nan type character who's like telling us about the threat beyond the wall? Like, wouldn't that be really cool?
That would
Uh,
be cool.
or just like, Crasters upon Crasters and generations of that, and seeing a little bit of that, or just getting to know a little bit more about the children of the forest. Like the person, something I was really looking forward to seeing is kind of what Laris is up to in this next season. Like how does his, his spiderish ways come into being, and how does his intrigue play out? But I am really looking forward to seeing the entire world kind of unfold in this next season, or in all the seasons that are to come, hopefully.
What else are we looking forward to?
I think they definitely set up Alicent to become like the next Cersei. She has her little minion and all that shit.
Mhm.
The dude that's gonna do the dirty work.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where he goes, where his character goes, because he's her spy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the foot stuff. We didn't even talk about the foot stuff.
Yeah.
Oh
Which one
yeah.
Like, how
do
many more
I
toes are we going to see?
do either of you are either of you into feet? You can. This is a safe space.
It's just us and the
Yeah, I'm
internet.
trying not to judge.
Y'all into feet? You can tell me. I won't tell anybody if you like feet. It's okay.
I'm into like not. I'm not into ugly feet. That's all I can say.
It's like the
I
boomerang
avoid
answer.
ugly feet.
We peek under the blanket, we check to see if the toes are done, and we're like,
Like Eddie Murphy, I'll actively avoid that.
"Ah."
But other than that, like, nah, I don't need the pictures.
Yeah, it's like something that you notice if it's not done well, but if
Mm.
it is done well, then it's like, all right, whatever.
It's like a score. It's like the score, right? If it's not done well, you're like, it's interrupting, and it's like it's jarring, and it's taking me out of where I'm trying to be. But if it's done well, then it's a silent character, and you don't even realize that it's there.
Oh, let me highlight AK's comment because this has happened before. You mentioned too many words that have to do with sexy things, and suddenly the bots show up with their links.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't have a moderator. I just kind of glance over from time to
I
time.
guess I could
So
do it. I have it open too.
okay, I mean, I glance at her over.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna highlight Iron Thrones because it's just funny. Good stuff.
Yeah, but I think if Laris betrays Allison, it'd be really interesting. But then it's just like, well, what else? You need to have these secrets, but who does Laris really have behind him? Like he is the only. Well, he's the strong that's left, right? He doesn't have
Right.
like the power of Old Town behind him to come and support. It'd be really quick to do away with him and give somebody else Harrenhal.
And he's such excuse me. His beers are kicking in. From the outside, he's such a small player that if he was suddenly murdered, no one's gonna be like, "Oh my god, we must avenge how strong." Like no one's gonna care.
No one cares about how strong.
And certainly not Laris.
Yeah.
Laris Clubfoot. It's his name, Brian. I didn't make. It's his name. I'm sorry.
Some shit I'm just gonna laugh at because it sounds funny. Like RZA saying Russell Westbrook.
I can't say it either. I'm not even gonna try.
Imagine RZA trying to say Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook.
His set.
Bang bang.
The foot guard. The silent man.
I like the foot guard. What else should we before we go? Because we've been on about an hour. What else? Anything that stand out that you guys want to mention? Other than foot stuff, pulling your meat out the window, taking your niece to a whorehouse.
The basics, you know.
Regular stuff. Huh?
I just don't want them to lollygag. I mean, get to the conflict when the next season begins.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're gonna probably try to set it up and all that. It's like, yeah, y'all set it up.
Yeah, I'm ready to see. I thought it was gonna end at Rhaenyra finding out that the throne, that her brother had been crowned king.
Mm-hmm.
And 32 ounces are starting to kick in. I thought it would end there. I didn't think it was going to end with her son dying and her finding out, because that's like a whole other thing. So I'm looking forward to the war crimes that I'm going to support all next season.
Yeah. So something, I don't know if this was like a bonus scene or something, but they had Rhaenyra's initially, when she found the news out, there were lines that she was supposed to say, right, originally, but then they decided to just go with the tense look, right? Where do we see that? There was someone who was talking about that. Originally, she was going to have something that she was going to say to end out that episode and that season, but they just settled on
it was me telling you about what she says in the books. There's a quote from the books that I can't remember offhand, and the book's right in front of me, but it's going to take too much time to flip through and find it. Hello, Jake. Hey, Sasuke. She says something along the lines of, you know, they killed my only daughter and they've, you know, taken my son or something like that. And I'm about avenging them or something along those lines. And instead it was just quiet. So it worked for the book, but maybe it would have been a little too soap opera for the show.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it would have been a weird way to kind of like sign off the season.
Yeah, I hope that one day my last words can be "avenge me." Either that or my chest, my bloody chest, my outfit.
My outfit.
So yeah, I'm hoping that, you know, when my time comes, I can use either of those as my last words.
Yo, you're gonna traumatize the men in your family if you say
avenge me. You're 106, Grandma, and I'll be like, avenge me.
Yeah, they won't even have a life of their own at that point. They're just gonna spend the rest of their days avenging their.
I want mine to be "I told you so."
So, AK says, how am I planning on going out? I feel like I'm gonna reach old age, but somehow it'll still be a hell of gunfire.
Jamaica, Jamaica.
With just enough time for me to both say my bloody chest and avenge me.
Gunfire. Why you though?
I don't know, man. I've never had anybody shoot
at you.
I just feel like, I don't know. It'd be more exciting than just like shitting myself in bed. Didn't mean to do that.
It was like the wrong time to highlight that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do this instead.
Whoops. Oh, what am I?
It's a lot better than leprosy dick, I'll tell you that.
Oh. Yeah, how would you avenge old age? Like, do you just hunt down Father Time? That'd be a whole other series, right?
That sounds like a great idea for a story.
Like somebody's grandma says avenge me, and it creates like a pact.
That graphic novel's writing itself as we speak.
It becomes a pact, and he's bound to it, and so he has to avenge her. But the only way is to find Father Time himself and kill him.
Love it.
All right,
All right.
Nikki, you ready to write
Fanfic
this graphic?
people, you've got your assignment.
AK, come on, chop chop. All right, closing words because it's been a little over an hour.
Actually, pause. I want to know, since they're here. I mean, we know which houses you guys, but what are your house words?
Yeah.
Tell us your house words.
And what's your if you have a favorite house, tell us that too.
My house words.
Yeah, like for instance, Targaryens are fire and blood, and the Starks are winter is coming.
And the
I don't know
Lannisters
what
are
you think.
hear me roar.
Montana?
What was that?
What's that safe word again? Montana.
What did you say?
He said, "What's your
Our
safe word?"
It's Montana, right? I thought it was Montana. Or something
No.
had to do with a pineapple.
It's nothing to do with a pineapple. I told you the pineapple. I gave you the pineapple lecture when I was high. The safe word was Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
God. Anyway, this got weird fast.
Next
So
time
that's
I
gonna
come
be your
over, I'm
house
just gonna
words.
Scream it out.
That's gonna be your house words. Just Milwaukee.
I mean, I like high life. No, my house. It's got to be one word, or can it be like a sentence?
Oh no, it's like
A sentence. It's a phrase.
It was your catchphrase.
Oh shit! Give me a second.
Got it.
His catchphrase is "This isn't good."
I don't even need them.
Wow.
Ooh, Jackie's drinking High Life.
Yes.
I'm almost done with my 32 ounces. I'm gonna getting through it, guys. I'm getting through it. Igmar, what are your house words while Raydar thinks about it?
The fire is coming.
Ooh,
I like
I like that.
I like
it.
I like John Targaryen.
Drop in your comments. Drop in your house words.
Yes, tell us your house
Tell
words.
us your house words.
I think other than wine on an empty stomach,
Hey.
my house words would combine Targaryen and Baratheon. It would be fire and fury. Because I also choose violence. In the context of this world, not in my day-to-day life. I'm a very kind and gentle soul.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's alarming how often we choose violence in this space.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, give respect to the topic at hand. Like, this show is built on sex violence.
Yeah.
This is true.
And milk of the poppy.
This is true.
Sprinkle a little crack on him.
House words. Okay. House quill.
Oh, I know what my house words
Ooh,
are.
I like the house words that are rolling in.
I'm gonna highlight the house words from Jackie C. We have fire, blood, and winter is coming. From AK, recording the past to forge the future. Ooh. Look at you. Okay. The seat is strong. Empty pockets move along. Hello, fandom. I like those house words too.
Very good.
House words. Don't need no hateration in this dancery.
I know my house words.
House words? All right, what are they?
If we smoke one, we're gonna smoke two.
Hey.
And that goes both ways. We can celebrate or we can shoot a motherfucker. And if I take you down, I'm taking your boy down too.
And so Tanya's dreams of saying, "Oh, my chest, my bloody chest," were realized.
Who I smoke, baby, who I smoke. Oh, I'm gonna highlight some more house words. From Sasuke, we have fire and blood glucose. Shout out to all the diabetics.
I thought he was about to say fire and blood clot.
Fire and blood clot. That's a good one. You know what? That's my new one. That's my new one. Fire and blood clot. I love it. And on the battlefield, you want to see me talk bad man? Fire and
Fire
fasting.
and fasting.
Yeah, fire and blood clot is it. I don't have a gavel to bang, but that's it. You got it. Oh man, there's another one from Jackie. Blood is coming. House words for all women's PMSing.
True story.
My other house words: one child is not enough, and two is too many.
That's a reality.
Listening to.
Y'all got them T-shirts yet?
Oh, now we remember what mine are.
Yes, what are yours?
Oh, I forgot. It's what I told you earlier about being hangry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
When you're hangry, you eat their souls.
When you're hungry, eat their souls. Yeah. That was passed on to me by a coworker today. And I said I was too hangry to respond to something that had been said in a meeting. And she was like, don't eat when you're hangry, eat their souls. And I was like, that's going on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Before we go, we'll start with Raydar. Where can we find you online and see what you're up to?
Y'all can find me on IG, Facebook, Twitter, as long as it's still around, I think. We'll see next week. Gonna get into TikTok top of 2023, but all things Raydar Ellis, RaydarEllis. Sidebar, can I make a quick shout out? I know this isn't video music box, but
all right. It's all good. Go ahead.
Cool. I want to shout out Igmar because I just saw some of the videos and stuff of the Revive Orchestra rocking with D Nice at Symphony at Kennedy Center.
My God.
And that's just dope. Congratulations.
We don't call him Igmar the Thomas for no reason.
Igmar Thomas.
Igmar, where can we see what you're up to, and where can we
proud of you.
Find all your things? Yes, we're extremely proud of you.
Thank you to my family. Love y'all. You can search my name. I think on Instagram, it's Iggy Soul. But if you search Igmar Thomas on anything, there's not. I don't know anybody else with the name Igmar, so you'll be all right.
That's true.
Spell Igmar. You'll find me, Igmar Thomas.
I'll drop some links into the
description.
I'm talking about the.
We'll drop them in the description.
Yep. I'll update it to include links for both of you. And I don't know if there's anything you want to share before we go. Anything coming up?
Well, yeah, for New York fam, we're doing Winter Jazz Fest, so I'll be there in January. January 14th, Brooklyn Bowl.
January 18th?
14th.
January 14th, Brooklyn Bowl.
Shout out to Future X Sounds.
Yeah, Future X, Angela Gill. Yep.
Shout out Bryce.
Yep. Shout out Bryce, Winter Jazz Fest, and Revive Music. Always Revive. Yeah, so we'll be there, and I'm here. Yeah.
Raydar, anywhere you wanna? Oh, you're gonna be at Winter Jazz Fest as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Raydar's
there.
That's true. He's gonna be wherever Igmar is.
Yeah. No, you're there. As long as you're allowed to be with everybody else in your life. As long as it works for you, it works for me.
Well, you can find us here on YouTube, 1,000 Eyes and One Podcast. You can go to 1000eyespodcast.com to find previous episodes and links and all of that. We are on Facebook and Instagram as 1,000 Eyes and One. And if you're interested in speculative fiction, you can join our book club called Wine on an Empty Stomach. And if you go to Instagram on Wine on an Empty Stomach, you can see flyers and all of that stuff. The next book is The World We Make by N.K. Jemisin, and that will be in January.
So good.
And
that's January 8th.
January 8th.
And we'll be back on December 13th with 32sdays, talking with Kojo and maybe my sister about Interview with the Vampire.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
So that's the night for us. Thank you all for hanging out with us. And thank you, Igmar and Raydar, for coming through and chatting with us.
No,
I had
thank
a
you
good
guys.
time.
Thank you for inviting me. I had a good time, and you guys are the shit. Yeah.
Thank you. We got to have you back for sure.
Ooh, wait a
season.
second. A bigger shout out to you, Igmar, because it was your gig at which me and Tanya had our first friend date and became true friends.
That's true.
I
It
do
was
vaguely
your gig.
remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
the union.
Went and got crepes after.
Yeah.
When did you guys get married?
I don't know. We met at Sullivan Hall for the Revive stage at Winter Jazz Fest.
Were candles lit?
There was lighting.
Whatever the W Hotel provided in that space that you guys were playing.
Oh yes, yes, we did meet at the W.
The
Yeah.
W. Oh, those
We
are
had
good.
the really
And then we got a
expensive,
room.
we drank really expensive Manhattans or old
Yes,
fashions.
yes, yes.
Shame on you guys for charging that much for a cocktail, honestly.
Don't you know we're poor? All right. Well, I think that's it for us, right?
Yep.
All right, that's it for us. Thank you all again. We hope to see you in December 13th, you said?
Yes.
December 13th to talk about Interview with the Vampire with our friend Kojo. And then in January 8th for The World We Make. So have a good night, y'all.
Bye.
Good night.